Welcome to the Income Rebellion, where we create liberating alternatives to status quo career paths by developing values-aligned income streams. My name is Chelsea Canedy, and I'll be supporting you here as you recreate your own income streams to honor your life and your legacy. Now, this is the first Income Rebellion podcast, and I'm incredibly excited to go on this journey with you. This episode is going to be all about how to get started in creating your own values-aligned income streams, and I'm going to include a little bit of a teaser on what to expect from this podcast down the line. Now, before we talk about how to start your own income rebellion, let's get very clear about what it means to go on this journey. Let's kick this off with a quote from Octavia Butler, who is one of my favorite writers. One of her more famous quotes is, "All that you touch, you change. All that you change changes you. The only lasting truth is change." Now, I absolutely love this quote because in the book that it's based off of, the main character goes through this journey of really understanding what it means to create a society and culture that is new and innovative and healing from the previous society and culture that in this book destroyed the world. It's a very great book and I highly recommend that you read it. But what I appreciate about it is this idea that we all are contributing. We all are contributing change to our home lives. We all are contributing change to our professional lives. And we all are creating change in how we see and relate to ourselves in any given moment of any given day. This quote, in my mind, honors the potential for us all to naturally be a part of creating change just by existing. And this is a really powerful concept when you begin to bring it into your career and how you live your life as a whole. For example, when we bring this philosophy to the work that we do, it honors that in any company or industry that you may find yourself in, that just existing in that space is enough to shape that space itself. Now, there are two types of people in the world. There are those who recognize that power and those who do not. Those who see this power are able to see the fact that they can influence any environment that they're in. That means that they can shape any environment that they're in based off of their own wants, needs, beliefs, and values. Now, those who ignore this role, who ignore the role that they have in creating and shaping change, tend to ignore this responsibility and also tend to ignore this power that they hold within. The thing is that if you're in this latter camp, it's completely valid and normal to be in this situation because 9 times out of 10, you have not seen people around you actively shaping change in a way that brings more dignity and power to their lives and the lives of others. Most people are in this situation because most people don't see lives as a canvas of potential and possibility. And if you're not quite there yet, I hope that this podcast can show and shine a light on what is possible and what can really happen when you begin to play with the boundaries that life has created for you. Now, those in the former camp, those who can already see this role of creating change and see the place that they may hold in shaping change for both their life and the lives of people around them, then I would just love to say that this Income Rebellion is for you. Now, if it is for you, I have to warn you because I'm your friend here. I'm not going to let you go into this work without knowing full and wholeheartedly that this is a space for taking action. This is a space for listening to yourself and doing what is best for you. And that means that you're really responsible for calling out your own doubt, imposter syndrome, limiting beliefs, and sneaky fears that prevent you from going after what you want. You can know that you can have a pivotal point in change and still question your ability to follow through on that change or to create a different world for yourself. And you are responsible for understanding and looking inside to know when you might be self-sabotaging or limiting your own potential or thinking of yourself as smaller. Because that's what we do when we come up against things that are new. That's just the brain doing what the brain naturally does. But you can either allow your brain to kind of run the show with your own imposter syndrome or self-doubt, or you can really see these different tendencies and beliefs come up within you and actively challenge them by believing that something different, better, or more is possible for you. Right now, we are in a period of history where the way that we work is deeply unprecedented, and most people already have multiple income streams. I don't want to say most people, but I will say many people have multiple income streams. This is a byproduct of many people being underpaid, and the Income Rebellion focuses on reshaping the ways that we work to highlight liberation and dignity for yourself and those that you're connected to. This has the potential to become a really beautiful process of looking at your life and considering what is it that you'd like to be remembered for? What type of character do you want to be remembered as having? What would you be proud to create? And how do you intend to spread beauty and forward momentum towards a better future and world in the life that you live in now? And if these questions feel very big and scary and a little heady for you, that's okay, but I do want to encourage you to lean into the challenge of thinking of the bigger ripple that your life has towards the broader scheme of things, right? So this basically means looking at the world around you and understanding what role you play. This looks like reinvestigating the ways that we are working to shift our lives towards greater beauty and sustainability instead of the extractive and fear-based ways of working that many of us are socialized to. Now, when I say extractive and fear-based, I basically mean the fact that because of late-stage capitalism, because of wealth hoarding, because of a constant pressure to have bigger, better, more quickly in all of the ways that we work and show up, many of us experience burnout, a lack of fulfillment, and a lack of sustainability in the career paths that we're currently in. Not only that, but many of us also feel like we have to be in this situation. Many of us feel like we have to work in these ways. There's a lot of fear and a lot of scarcity when it comes to considering what other changes are possible. And it's important to challenge that fear and to challenge that scarcity, to step into a role of bravery and potential so that we can actually begin to develop an alternative that feels great for all of us. Now, in this world, we do this through the creation of values-aligned income streams, and these are basically vehicles that we use to sustain ourselves and our communities. And yeah, this means making money too, so you don't have to worry about, your designer groceries or giving your dogs those really cool boots that you saw online. Whatever you spend your money on, live in abundance and live in ways that we can really have the lifestyles that we want. And so let's dive into what that looks like by really unpacking this idea of a values-aligned income stream. A values-aligned income stream is any income stream that 1, honors your values, 2, honors your needs and well-being, and 3, makes you at a minimum of $25,000 a year in revenue or saves you $25,000 a year. Now, some people are going to want to take their values-aligned income stream to the moon. They want to make multiple six figures, while others are going to want to create an array of income streams that support their lifestyles, but that are more reflective of their multi-passionate interests. We always start with one idea at a time, but anything is possible here, and ideally this approach is going to be something that helps you feel better about yourself and the life that you live, and that empowers you to go outside of your comfort zone to create and to actively build a life that you enjoy and that is meaningful and powerful to you. Now, we're going to go into all 3 of these points in just a second, but before we do, I just want to create a container for this conversation. I really need you to take a moment and throw everything you know about money, careers, business ownership out the window. This is not a conventional approach to working, and therefore, all of those sticky limiting beliefs that you may have inherited about your careers can actually prevent you from building and creating a path that you like more. I feel like I've worked with hundreds of clients in understanding what a values-aligned income stream actually looks like to them. And one thing that I have learned is that most people have a lot of limiting beliefs around what is possible. And this work is going to be challenging these limiting beliefs. It's going to be triggering these limiting beliefs. It's going to be, bringing up all types of things that you didn't even know you believed about yourself and the world that we lived in. And like I said, a lot of this work for me is combating those limiting beliefs. So it's going to be important for you to throw what you currently know out the window and be mindful when those beliefs are coming up and holding you back in ways that you couldn't have thought of before, because that is the first step to actually being able to release those beliefs and to get into the creative processes and energy that you need to build something that's more sustainable for you as you move forward. The income rebellion work is the work that feels exciting to do. It's the work that helps you grow into a version of you that you deeply love and adore, even more than the version of you that exists right now. Values-aligned income streams and this whole income rebellion thing works together so that you can reclaim the dignity and the passion and the purpose that we have lost from when we were kids, envisioning what it is that we'd like to be when we grew up, to now, where you may feel frustrated or even jaded about what's possible in yourself and in your life. This work is about creating freedom and flexibility, and I want you to feel that in your core before we go into all of the technical logistics, because that is the reason why we do this work. One other thing that I'll say before we dive into these definitions is that in my brain, the biggest form of liberation is choice. The biggest form of love is curiosity. And the way that we work should be an act of liberation and love, choice and curiosity, not following an outdated playbook because we don't have a clear understanding on what alternatives exist. These are big, heady topics in this podcast, so please share what questions you have, and let's make this a conversation. I'll do my best to support you whenever you share an idea, whenever you make a request, because I see this work as part of my service and part of my purpose and part of what lights me up in this world too. So, let's break down, now that we got all of those logistics out of the way, let's break down what a values-aligned income stream actually is. The first piece is honoring your unique values. Now, your values are what you stand for and what your needs are, and the bigger why of what you do in your work. This informs what paid work you take or don't take. It informs your business model if you want to build a business. It informs the way that you work with your community, your customers, your clients, and everyone else. Your values are really the things that are the most important pieces of your life, the codes that you live by. Now, when I work with people on this, we solidify 4 core values for you to prioritize, because after 4, it can get a little bit muddy in terms of what to prioritize when and how to really meaningfully integrate all of these values into action. Not only that, but after 4, I find that there's more overlaps in the definitions that people use for values. So it ends up being a little bit less impact in terms of the values that you're carrying as you move forward. With that said, I could honestly give an entire episode on your values, and I'm sure I will, so don't you worry. But for now, I want you to consider what is incredibly important to you. I want to be crystal clear. Your values are not the work that you should be doing, what you feel like is your best professional path because others guided you in that direction because they believe that it's right for you. These values are what matters to you, not what you think other people want you to do, or not what you've been taught is the correct path for you. It means really understanding what authenticity looks like for you and getting a clear picture of what really matters to you now if there were no other people in the world and if nothing else was influencing your decisions. And don't worry, these other needs will still get met, but it's important to understand what resonates for you on your own. So these values are incredibly important windows into the work that is best suited for you. My values are embedded in my business model, and when I look at my values, they paint a clear picture as to why I need to quit many of my previous jobs. Not only that, but my values have been a direct path towards what income streams make me the most profit and bring me the most abundance in my life as a whole. And the thing is, too, about values, this goes back to the Octavia Butler quote, but as I worked in different spaces, my values have shifted. And in many cases, I've naturally outgrown the spaces that I was in. Not only that, but my values also helped shape the places of work that I was in as well. Going back to what Octavia Butler said, all that you touch, you change. All that you change changes you. The only lasting truth is change. So acknowledging the fact that big major instances and shifts in your life may cause shifts in your values, but for the most part, I have found that your values stay pretty similar over the course of your life. They may shift as your priorities change, as your family structures change, as you move, as your previous work experiences shape and shift you. But for the most part, the core pillars of them and the core foundations can be resonant for you throughout your entire life. The biggest mistake I see people make when they have a set of values is that, well, the first biggest mistake is that they do values based off of what others expect of them. They do what they believe should be correct for their values instead of what actually resonates. The second big mistake is that people have separate values for their personal lives and their professional lives. And when I see that happen, it's usually because they don't believe that it's possible for your values to be met in a professional space. And I just want you to know that you can still make money and have your values fully met. If you hear anything that I share, please know that you can have both, and also get in touch with what it means for you to authentically live in your values as you. Okay, so the second piece of this formula is creating work that honors your needs and well-being. Now, most people settle deeply in getting their needs met from professional spaces because they've been conditioned to believe that their needs don't matter. And if you're from any marginalized group, then this piece is for you, and you're not alone. I've been there too. We're taught that we have to be twice as good to receive breadcrumbs, and this sets an outdated and really low bar for what we can expect professionally. Part of the strategy in this section is to allow yourself to get a clear understanding of your needs and desires while simultaneously building up a skill set so that you can ask for what you want and know how to create what you want if it does not already exist. I often work with clients in understanding what it is they actually want, because so much of what we want can be suppressed by the ways that we try to fit into community. We may want to fit in with our family, our religion, our movements, whatever place has an expectation of us, so much so that we dim our own light and we dim what it is that we actually want at the end of the day. The real magic happens when you understand the through line between your values and desires, and you create a more liberated version of yourself for yourself with a tether to broader community and culture. So the conversation shifts from getting a job that pays you well enough to committing to life work that fulfills you emotionally, spiritually, intellectually, and more, with income streams that support you in doing that life work. And again, we go back to the heady concepts like life work, because at the end of the day, that is what all of this is about. It's about connecting to your truth, it's about connecting to your power, and it's about allowing your truth and power to have a rippling impact on the world around you. The third piece is everyone's favorite piece, and that is the money piece. And your income stream must make you $25,000 or more a year in revenue, or save you $25,000 or more. And I say this is people's favorite piece because it can become your favorite piece even if you have different limiting beliefs around money and security and what it means to have an income. When you begin to reshape your relationship to money, and when you begin to really find excitement in what potential lies in having more access to wealth. Now, a question that I get asked is, why $25,000 or more a year? I landed on this number as an income stream because consistently making $25,000 or more a year, or saving $25,000 or more, can lead to a significant lifestyle shift for most people. I have found that when I work with clients, that $25,000 number is enough for people to put money away for savings, to invest in themselves and in other income streams they want to create. It's enough money to cover a major expense like a car or childcare. And because my work focuses on income streams that are low stress and easy to scale, these income streams don't have to be challenging to maintain after the initial creation phases, which means you can create as many income streams as you like. So for people who are multi-passionate and have a lot of enthusiasm and excitement around a lot of different things, this means that you can have different ways of having money that honor these different pieces and parts of you too. The other reason why I have this as the foundation is because this number is a realistic goal for newer businesses, and the sky really is the limit after that point. So some are going to feel content with that $25,000 number, while others are going to want to bring that to 10 or 20 times that mark. But people see $25,000 as a realistic goal, more comforted by understanding that $25,000 a year is just $2,000 a month. And for a lot of people, knowing that you can make an extra $2,000 a month while still working a 9-to-5 job is enough to know that, okay, maybe I can quit this job and still get my needs met and still be able to have a successful business and still feel confident in this new direction for my life. Sometimes a financial line in the sand doesn't resonate, and if that's the case, then don't use the $25,000 mark. Really have your own standards of what it means to have an income stream that aligns for you, and know that no matter what those standards are, you can still likely productively do this work. Again, this $25,000 mark exists because most people I have worked with have found it to be helpful and an achievable goal to gain a sense of security in knowing that their financial needs can be met while still pursuing their life's work and while still pursuing something that is purposeful and meaningful. So now we have gone through the 3 basics of what a values-aligned income stream actually is. These, again, just for people who have missed it, are the income streams that honor your unique values, honor your needs and well-being, and makes you a minimum of $25,000 a year in revenue or saves you $25,000 or more a year. We have now entered the point of the conversation where you are likely talking yourselves out of this. And I've seen this happen with so many people because it can sound nice on paper, it can sound nice in theory, but can it actually be something that you can do? And I just want to say, yes, it can. So one thing that I'll say is that this is possible for you. You don't need a ton of money, you don't need a huge investment, you just need an interest and a determination to start. I can confirm that this is 100% possible until I'm blue in the face, but until you put in the time, energy, effort of making this work for you, it's going to be really hard to believe that this is possible. That it's possible to center your purpose, your passion, and ultimately your freedom in the way that you create money for yourself. That's why, as a part of this work, I try to make it as easy for people to start as possible. And I do this by having a entire membership that is less than $1 a day, where you can just come and bring your ideas and receive small group coaching, a ton of resources and a ton of support in getting your ideas off the ground so that you can then begin to build your own values-aligned income stream in a way that really matters for you. Part of becoming a member is that you have the tools to really step away from this 9-to-5 conditioning and this 9-to-5 mindset. We really begin to eliminate all of the different urgency, self-doubt, and ways you can get in your own way, because that has been what is expected of you in your 9-to-5 job, and instead step into your own leadership and power. Not only that, but you're going to be getting weekly guidance from me in how to create your own values-aligned income stream and support from myself every single week so that you can stay on track with your goals and your vision. The most beautiful part of this is that you are getting it at an incredible price point. For less than $1 a day, you have all of that support, in addition to a number of some of my favorite courses and curriculums that people have really used to accelerate their own income rebellion journey too. Now that that's out of the way, let's share a little bit about how your values-aligned income stream can actually look. You can focus on your income, and again, most of my work focuses on helping people who are interested in entrepreneurship, because I find that that is the most accessible path to really go on an income rebellion journey, and it also has the most overlap in different types of income streams that you can create. Some of these income streams includes, what does it mean for you to do what you are currently doing in your 9-to-5 as a freelancer or consultant? What does it mean for you to start a business on a skill or interest that you'd like to grow out even more? What does it look like for you to develop a passive income stream through real estate or stocks in a values-aligned way? What does it mean for you to focus on saving money or making more money so you can retire early or opt into partial retirement? You can focus on monetizing your existing creative work and gifts too. So these are some ways that a values-aligned income stream can look just off the top of my head, and they all, again, have similarities in understanding marketing, sales, self-leadership, and also understanding what a values-aligned strategy looks like, which is what I'm best at and what I help my clients really do. At the same time, it's common for people who begin this income rebellion journey to really begin thinking in innovative ways on what it means to optimize their life for income rebellion and to enhance their freedom. So this can look like moving home or to a lower cost of living area and saving tens of thousands of dollars on food and housing for a limited period of time. This can look like renting out your car since you're not using it that much and having it also become an income stream, or really considering what other assets you own that you can rent out. The sky is truly the limit, and you can really make this journey meet you wherever you're at. So before we close, let's let these concepts marinate. Take some time this week to reflect on what you're curious about creating, and what would your income rebellion journey entail if there were no limits to what you could possibly do. What is on your bucket list that you've been procrastinating time and time again? And as a reminder, check out the membership if you want to do this work with a lot of hands-on support and community. As you consider these questions, remember that the changes you'd like are possible, and they are closer to you than they may seem. I believe in you, and I'll talk to you soon.